that skin good and greasy all the time, time, time. Keep that skin good and greasy all the time. Welcome everybody to our cooking show number 22. We're back in the kitchen. Nina is here. Everything's in order. So we're ready to go. What do you think, Nina?
Oh yeah. Last week it was cold. It's almost freezing. Today it's really hot. So I'm sweating already, but this is wonderful. We're gonna cook my grandmother's chicken, or variation of it. When my grandmother always filled her chicken with apples. And I always love that because it gives the chicken such a wonderful, fruity flavors. And
that's what we grew up with.
Yeah,
the chicken is with apple.
Yes,
that's just
exactly.
how it is.
And what I'm going to have with it, Jens?
Okay, today we're going to have pasta with it. We're going to have I'm going to make just some noodles. Any kind of noodles will do, but I've got some rotinis. I'm going to make some herb butter, and we put some fresh little tomatoes in it. Very simple.
I got me a nice chicken at the store yesterday. It's an organic one, no hormones added. I tend to pick the small ones. The recipe is going to be for 4 people, maybe 5, maybe even 6 if you have children. And so don't get the biggest chicken there is. If you want to make a lot, take 2 chickens and do them side by side. It's just following the traditional a little more. This chicken is about a 2.5 pound chicken. Nice chicken.
That's a nice chicken.
That's a wonderful chicken. It's not too small, not too big. I have 2 big apples. I'll see if those are enough, but they will be. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a rub for the chicken out of salt. I use thyme and marjoram and rosemary, and I'm using this herbe de Provence as my rub, and put a little paprika in there too, and some fresh pepper. And that will be the chicken.
And you need some string.
I will need some string to tie it up. Yeah.
Actually, in the herbe de Provence, is there some lavender in there? Right?
There's a little bit of lavender in there. I just like that. My grandmother would have never used this, but it is a wonderful variation on it. It just doesn't make much of it.
Because of the marjoram, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the main.
Yes, exactly.
Well, for the noodles, we just need a chunk of butter and some herbs. I like sage. Very much. To be the dominant taste of it, and little rosemary and some green onions and a little bit of garlic. I bought some cherry tomatoes. We're just going to cut them up and put them in there, and a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper. Very simple. I think that's all we need.
We started out by preheating the oven to 375. That's it needs about 15-20 minutes to get to the temperature. You just heard the beep beep, and that's always the first step when we roast the chicken, when I roast the chicken. And then I'm gonna have to cut some apples and get the chicken ready and make my rub. So I start with the rub. Take a good amount of salt. And this is just normal straight sea salt, which is wonderful. So you think about 1/3 of an ounce per pound of chicken is usually one of the rules. Don't skimp on the herbs. It's like a real medieval recipe. Jens, can you pass me the pepper, please?
Yeah.
So this is our rub mixture here. Apples, it's springtime, so the apples are a little older, which means I'm going to peel them with my beautiful Swiss peeler. Take a moment. Don't worry about them getting brown or anything like that. They're not going to be. Don't have to be afraid to present them. Peeled. I'm going to half them, core them, and make some more slices. Quarter these again. The slices are not too thick. Just make nice slices like that. Chicken down with the rub. And I'm doing this already over my roasting pan. Be nice and generous with this and put it everywhere. Because the chicken doesn't have much time to absorb it. I'm not marinated the chicken before or anything. Just putting it in the oven like it is. And don't forget to put some in here and on the other side, inside the chicken. Very important. Okay, once I have the chicken patted down like this, I'm going to put some apples in there. And I don't wash my hands. See, there's enough rub on my hands so the apples are covered with my rub as well. I'm just going to start putting some apples in here. And I guess that's just about what I can fit. Chris has this wonderful roll of cooking string, cooking twine. I'm gonna cut me a piece off, just to tie the chicken down a little bit. It doesn't take much, but basically one around the wings. I'll do this very roughly, so.
Yeah, that looks good.
Like that.
Yeah, that looks good.
And then tie it on itself at the end. And so the chicken becomes a nice compact little thing. There's not too much holes in it. That's very. And now breast up in the middle of the fryer. I'm gonna add the rest of my apples around it. See, I have a whole apple left over, so. Cut this up as well. I got this beautiful knife from Bill and Jane for my birthday. It's wonderful. I have to watch out not to cut myself with this. It's sharp. And steel from France. And as you can see, I have not added any fat to the chicken. I don't put any fat on it. It keeps it from burning that fat. The fat under the skin and the chicken itself is plenty for the chicken to cook. Yeah. Does that look okay?
That's all right.
And then I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Can I take this? Just a few drops, not too much. The chicken shouldn't swim in the water, but it should not be dry either. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven. It'll take about an hour and a quarter if everything runs right. So we can just forget that. How long is your sauce going to take, your noodles?
Actually, I timed it. I made it yesterday and it took exactly 53 seconds.
So we have time to play music.
Are you on radio recording again? We don't even. Shall we play one?
Yeah.
But can you run this again because we don't know what we're going to be playing yet.
No, you have to just do it.
Oh, okay. It's an old Doc Watson tune.
What are you going to do?
Chicken song. No. It's got a verse in it that I can substitute.
Let's see what do you do?
A train that carried my chicken from town.
Well, I usually tune for tuning.
And I play with a capo, but
Don't you play with the K-Bears?
no, I'm gonna play like this. Let's try and see what comes
Okay,
out.
let's kick it off.
Now where were you when that train left town? Was standing on the corner with my head hung down. Hey, that train that carried my girl from town. Hey, 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 hey. There's a chicken on the table and my coffee's getting cold. Some dirty old round that stole my jello. Lord, 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 someone bring her back. That one's got her hand on my money's sack. Hey, that train that carried my girl from town. Hey, 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 ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Show me a woman that a man can trust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Show me a woman that a chicken can trust. Hey, that train that carried my girl from town. Hey, hey,
Practice there.
hey, that train that carried my girl from town. Hey, hey, hey.
I think we should have played it the old way. What do you think?
Climber style?
No, I played it tune a different. I don't know. I think it sounded okay.
That was fun. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Show me a woman a chicken can trust.
What? I
I
mean,
don't know.
is that song for you, right?
No, it should be show me a chicken a woman can trust.
All right.
Oh, let's start with the song.
Oh, baby, no, baby.
What is he gonna cook today?
He's waiting for scraps.
Oh yeah. It's a nice thing about a chicken, right? You can always share parts of it with your pets.
I let him chew off the end of the bones, you know, the drumstick bones.
Just like
and
a
I just
dog.
let him, just use bites right
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Let me wash my hands. Let me wash my hands and start on the sauce. So Uwe, you can help me preparing the garlic. What I really like you to do is take the individual cloves, you know, peel them, and then slice them, you know, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
like that.
That's my favorite way of doing garlic.
With the butter together,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they get that full aroma, and in the end,
You have
these little slices.
You have these little garlic chips.
Yes, that are actually in the food, you know, so they're good. So you can help me with this.
Yes, I will do that.
And I'm gonna cut some of the sage that I got here. I have to put my glasses on because otherwise I might hurt my fingers with this big knife. Actually, Uwe brought the same. I got the same knife, but Uwe brought one because he thought I didn't have one like this. and his is so much sharper than mine. And I have to go over my stone again with my knives, you know. Really.
I'll help you. I'll bring my Lansky over here. It's always nice to have a sharp knife.
Yeah, I have a few. You see, this is one of them.
So how much garlic do you need? About a handful, Jens? You need the whole thing?
No. This is plenty, Uwe. This doesn't. What I like with the sage, you know, sometimes I just take the stems off and I just cut the sage.
Very nice.
And then with the rosemary, I just sort of peel
Against the grain, right?
against the grain, peel them off.
I volunteer for the garlic fingers today.
Oh yeah,
I never mind.
it's like shedding a Christmas tree. All right. No, I'm kidding.
I have to admit that I'm using the pre-cut garlic in the little tubes a lot at home. When it's not so important that the garlic is fresh, sometimes you just want a little bit of it.
Yeah, it actually tastes
It is very practical, and it's much better than the pickled stuff or stuff in salt water.
You think so?
Yeah,
I like
that's not bad. But my favorite is really those little squeeze tubes. They do a good job in this. Also with the parsley and the herbs, you do a stew. Save a lot of time that way. But if you can get fresh and you have a good source and you got time on your hands, nothing beats fresh. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's just how it is. I think this is good. Perfect. Wonderful. Exactly. This looks great. It's exactly right.
Just like that.
That's perfect.
Yes, I know there's different schools of thought about this. You know, when you do something like this, there's a lot of people do that, and I really learned how to push the knife instead. You know, you push the knife, and that way you have less contact with the steel on the board, and it keeps your knives from getting dull too fast.
Really?
But yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, that for the lazy cook. The other one is faster. What you just did.
I don't know what I did.
Oh, you were doing the classic French
I don't know.
pull.
I just cut.
So here we are. Is that enough, Jens?
That's perfect.
Super.
I put the water up for the noodles, even though we have a lot of time. You know, just put some water, a little bit of salt, and I think we're gonna play on a tune. I got another banjo here because I want to play this. Yeah,
You got me a nice silver banjo.
well, yeah. You see, you've shown this picture here, and the one above, and these two aquarelle paintings were gifts from my friend Jean Martin with his wife Denise and their daughter Camille. They live in Strasbourg, and Jean Martin, he's an arts professor in the University of Strasbourg, and he teaches, you know, art. And then in their free time, they go to southern France, and they have an interesting habit. They go and they paint all day and they try not to talk or talk as little as absolutely necessary and just paint all day, and that's their vacation. That's what they do. In the evening, they cook a good meal. She's a fantastic cook. He's a great cook. And he took up the banjo not too long ago, I think, and then he started playing clawhammer banjo. And he's a very exquisite man. You know, he's got style. And then he learns all these tunes very perfectly and very correctly. And so he always, you know, he comes to they come to the shows in Philly every week. But anyway, he once asked me about it, you know, tunes that I would play for him so he could learn them. And this was one that.
Was that one that you showed him?
That's one I showed him. But then he came back and he played it so much better than me. But this is an old melody. It's called Prince William March, but there's a King William March as a prince, and I couldn't find it, you know, much. But this is a beautiful little melody. It's very, very old.
And there's William the Bastard March, William the Rich,
and the Mad,
and William the Mad, and William the Quiet,
and William the Evil,
William the Big One.
cut the tomatoes. I usually cut them like this.
Yes, I cut them lengthwise like that.
Okay. So, and then
But
sometimes,
you
you know,
cut
I
off-
don't know, it looks, I'm not really sure, you know, sometimes I just even cut the little end off, but it
Well-
doesn't really need it. I mean, you can...
No. So which way do you want it? Lengthwise?
I don't really, you know, I mean, I'm fond of both ways, actually.
Oh, let's not mix it up too much. Let's
think
go.
so?
Let's do the easy way.
You know what, I'm gonna do the lengthwise like you.
I'm not going to do your way.
Okay, all right, I think that's a good solution, because it really doesn't matter that much. I have a big one here, I'm gonna cut it twice.
You marinate your tomatoes a little bit before you put them in the noodles?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
That's the nice thing, you know, tomatoes, they are just, these little tomatoes have so much flavor. You don't need to do much with them at all.
these
You know?
little
And then with all the other herbs and everything, you know, they add this freshness to it. I'm not even going to cook it. I'm just going to put them in once everything's done. I'm just going to throw them in there, just mix them over, and then they don't need to be, you know, cooked.
Yes, don't squish them.
Don't?
Okay, I'll sit right there.
It's just wonderful.
Tomatoes.
Once even read that tomatoes are healthy. Can you imagine that?
Really?
Yes, not only chicken, also tomatoes.
Tomatoes are healthy?
Yes, I know. This is, I tell you a story.
Oh.
It was Lodi's wife, Kirsten. Well, her mother, she grew up in a restaurant. When she was very little, and during the war, they would put her up in northern Germany, and she would sing songs for the soldiers. And she was just this little girl, and you know, maybe not, people were not paying too much attention to her during the day, but they noticed that she would only drink beer. She was 5 years old, right? And she would
like a good German girl.
she would only drink beer. Only. So her mother once came to her and said, "You cannot only drink beer." And she said, "Really?" And she said, "Yes, you also need to drink water." And then she looked with wide open eyes, little cute girl, looked at her mother and said, "What? The stuff you wash your hands with?" She said, "I thought that was such a cute story." But and she's you know, how old is she? I don't know, mid-80s, almost 90, and she's as tough as ever, you know, and she sings in the church choir.
But that's the thing about it, you know, the way even some of our ancestors, you know, my grandmother, my great-grandmother actually, my dad always told that story of how my grandmother had this little vat of vodka on the refrigerator. And every morning and every evening she would have just a tiny little glass of this to start the day and to go to sleep.
Yes.
And she made it to 96
Yes.
and never was an alcoholic.
No. Never? Okay. Anyway. Yesterday I got me a new Floby card. Floby One Kenobi. What do you think, Uwe?
I didn't. I have this hat on my head because of that. I think I got a song for that too.
What is it?
It's got a verse in it. It goes, "Oh, my woman, she just don't care for me. Since she found out I was goofy as can be, and I hope I'll be lucky some old day." Every man gets some tough luck sometimes, but he ain't got a nickel nor a dime, and I hope I'll be lucky some old day. If I have to make a dollar and a dime, then I hope I'll be lucky some old day. Play fair. If I gamble and I lose, boys, I don't care, and I hope I'll be lucky some old day. And I hope I'll be lucky some old day. And I hope I'll be lucky some old day.
No, it looks good on you. It's a little tight. Let me adjust it.
But it's fully adjustable.
No, it's fully adjustable. Let's put it off.
Yes, and so one size fits most.
But one size fits most.
Oh, no.
No, we don't.
No.
This, no.
No, this is not a good look on me.
This looks actually not bad.
Flatten out.
Yeah, flatten out. Or you can actually do also the bishop's look.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about the Disneyland look?
No, wait a second. Now, if you pull it up, put it like this. This is more like, yes. This is really, yeah, I like this. This is really good. Also, this, or the Baskin, you know, the Baskin.
Yeah,
Baskin, oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You're French, you can speak French now.
Oh, Champs-Élysées. Oh, Champs-Élysées. Sur la pyramide, sur la pyramide. Il y a tout ce que vous voulez aux Champs-Élysées. I messed that one up. Well, French people are not watching the show anyway because this is not French cuisine.
No, they
But
don't.
if you do, please let me know what the real words are so I can learn them for next year, okay?
For next year.
Next year.
Next year,
Yeah,
yeah. You
next
look
year.
French. You look French.
Yeah, but I don't speak French.
You do speak French.
I don't speak French. It's just my French is, I have a very limited, I have a very bad accent. And, please.
You're not filming this, are you?
Yes.
Why would you? Notice,
Have a look at my chicken. Yeah, it's getting there. You see, most of the water is gone now. The apples are frying in the bottom. I've added a little bit more water. No, that's good. That's about. No, this is nice. Wonderful.
sure.
Yeah. Or maybe just a tad. Like that. Still have about another half hour to go on this.
Okay.
About 20 or 15 minutes away from the chicken being done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slightly puncture the skin up here on the breast. It'll enable some juices to flow out, see that? Maybe you can see it on the video. It makes the breast a little drier, yes, but it also gives a little bit of a crust on the chicken. Let me check my apples, see how they're doing. Oh yeah, they're done. They're gonna be nice, wonderful. Oh, this is great. Traditionally, my grandma would probably make salt potatoes with parsley and red cabbage to go along with the chicken. We did all that already in our earlier recipes, so I think we didn't do the red cabbage, right?
Well, there's always time for red cabbage.
But we're gonna do noodles today. Right?
Yes, we're just going to put some, the water is boiling enough, I think. Let's put noodles in here. I think, you know, now for the herbs, you know, just going to put some, melt some butter. And I put it on low because I don't want to burn the butter. I just want to be careful. The butter just melting it really. I don't want to burn it under no circumstances. Right, Uwe? Just have to wait a little bit. I'm just going to wait until the butter is boiling up. And once the butter is boiling up, you see that? Then it's perfect to put the herbs in.
So you are not frying the herbs, right? You just
No.
so I saute them in the
Yes.
butter.
I think now I can put the garlic in. And I know it looks like a lot of fat, and it actually is, but I'm going to add more because I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. And it's just for the flavor, really, just a little bit. Because when that mixes with the butter, there's just something magical happen, right? I'm going to put the herbs in here. Let them soak in the butter. So I put in a little bit of salt, and of course some pepper. There's so much taste, you know, with these herbs that you really don't need anything else going there. Just kind of let it sit on low and almost turn it. I could almost turn it off. You know, you don't want to over fry it. Just let it sit there.
When you cook with herbs or spices in general, you use fat because the flavor molecules, the oils are dissolving in fat, not in water. If you just boil herbs with just water, they will dissolve into the air. But if you put a little bit of fat, it doesn't take much, a little bit of fat on it, it will stay in the fat, and then the fat will transport all that flavor to whatever you mix it with. So that's one of the simple principles.
I'm just gonna add a little bit of the noodle water. And you know, because of the starch that the noodles give up, I'll just add a little more. I think, yeah. Gosh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
How does that look?
It looks great, and the chicken starts to really look like it wants to come out of the oven soon. Noodles are ready. I'm just trying to transfer them over in a pot like this. I think these are Uwe's favorite pasta. Uwe likes rotinis because they catch the sauce, he says. They're like this. Native Americans have dream catchers, and in Italy we have sauce catchers. You know, we have rotinis. Together, and it smells delicious. And I'm going to put the tomatoes in. I take it off the stove basically now.
Chicken's out of the oven, which is I'm gonna just cut here at this part and see. Yeah, I think that should be done very well. Cut off the string. See that I don't burn myself here because everything is still pretty hot. Now, easiest way to do this is you go straight here through and cut out the wing first, the legs first with the thigh, and then you do the same thing to the wing. And then what you do is you do a cut along here and a straight cut down here, and you can pretty much peel off the breast.
Ooh, this looks good.
side. Then you do the same thing on the other side. That. Pretty good. And now we have these apples in the middle of the chicken. They're really tasty. You know, some people I think that is the best part of the meal are these apples. Maybe a spoon.
Front of you.
Oh, right here. Perfect. Okay. So, Melissa, you ready to eat a little bit?
Oh, I'm starving. It smells so good. It smells so good. All right. Let me try this.
Yeah, yes.
Really, it's so tender. It's got a really good flavor. It's so juicy. Somebody knows something's
Yeah.
being served.
Well,
Your noodles are good.
the apples should keep the chicken nice and moist and give it a little sweetness to it.
Very good.
How
guys.
do you like the
Done
apples?
well.
How do you like the
Oh,
apples?
let me try.
Good stuff.
This is very good.
Let's stop
Very
this
good.
now because I'm hungry. I need to eat too, you know.
How do we say in Switzerland?
And go at the
En gute miteinander. That was our
No, it was your chicken.
our grandma's chicken
Yeah,
recipe. You know, we modified it just a little bit, but the apples, just like we had at home.
Well, they really give that flavor. You know, they really do. And I can't wait to try it now. This was a lot of fun.
And
Cooking show number 22.
Yes.
Think about it.
I want to see the noodles. You know how much love routine is.
I know. But with this chicken, you
Oh,
can
this is gonna be
almost eat.
wonderful.
You could eat anything. Yes. You could eat a pie.
Folks, we're going to see you again next week, hopefully. We had some requests for some menus that we might consider, and we're thinking about it very hard.
It is a Berlin street food that we might go to.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, we'll see. You all take care. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Melissa.